Balakand, chapter 1. So far, we have finished 19 different descriptions of Lord Rama's physical appearance and 44 descriptions of Rama's qualities. We are now in the section where sage Narada compares Rama's attributes to certain exemplary standards. Let us continue with those comparisons at this section. Verse 18. Vishnuna sadrisho virye somavat priyadarshanaha kalagni sadrisho krodhe kshamaya prithvi samah dhanadena samah tyage satye dharma iva apara. Rama's valor and prowess are like unto the Almighty Lord Vishnu. His sweet presence and charming nature are like that of the moon, the dispeller of darkness. His wrath is terrible and all-consuming, not unlike the fire that destroys the world at the close of the great day, but withal patient and enduring, even as Mother Earth. He is a great giver, even like Kubera, the Lord of Wealth. He is truth and justice in human mold, as it were. So we have 6 more comparisons in this verse. The first one, which is the 45th description of Lord Rama's quality, is Vishnuna Sadrisho Virye. Then we have Somavat Priyadarshanaha. Then the 47th is Kalagni Sadrisha Krodhe. 48th is Kshamaya Prithvi Sama. 49th is Dhanadena Samatyage. And 50th is Satya Dharma Iva Apara. So the 45th is Vishnuna Sadrisho Virye. In Virya, or in valor, in his prowess, Lord Rama is like the Supreme Lord Vishnu himself in prowess. There is no other way in which we can compare his prowess, because many people are very powerful, but none as powerful as the Supreme Lord. So this is one of the first indications that sage Narada gives to say that Rama is none other than the Supreme Lord himself. But since Valmiki asked for the description of the perfect man, he says Nara, and we have discussed that in great detail in the previous sections. Therefore, Narada does not just talk about only the Bhagavan qualities of Lord Rama. He talks about how the Lord behaves as a wonderful human being, just so that his devotees can take pleasure in his association and can serve him diligently. Because if you always see the Lord as a Supreme Lord, it is difficult to behave with him as if he were your child or a friend or your plain master. But when you see the Lord as a human being, when you see him as your closest friend, you see him as your son, as your father, as your king, as the person you love the most in this world, without knowing that he is the Supreme Lord, that is a different sort of love altogether. It is not love that is tinged with any material desire. It is the purest form of love, and that love is called bhakti. Of course, we are going to talk about this in much greater detail throughout Valmiki Ramayana, but suffice to say that this is one of the first indications that Lord Rama is the Supreme Lord Vishnu himself. This is one of the direct indications. We do have other indications, and we have already spoken through all of those before, but they were indirect indications. This is a direct indication that Lord Rama is none other than Lord Vishnu himself. The 46th description of Lord Rama is Somavat Priya Darshanaha. Soma, or the sun, is very beautiful. It's very attractive to look at. Therefore, sage Narada says that Rama's beauty rivals the beauty of the full moon. That's why we have the term Ramachandra. Why? Because he is Rama, who is as radiant as the moon, who is as soothing as the moon, who is as pleasing as the moon. Even the Western poets aren't immune to the beauty of the moon, and therefore we can see that the moon is universally pleasing. It is so beautiful, so charming, so soothing. That's what Sage Narada wants us to know. He's very soothing, very calming, very polite, very sweet. And it is mentioned in Vedas that whenever the Devatas wanted to enjoy their lives, they would go to the planet of the moon. They would go to the moon and they would enjoy themselves over there because that place is just so pristinely beautiful. Now, immediately, the scientific minds of people who have seen the NASA image of Neil Armstrong on the surface of the moon will think that the moon isn't that pretty, the moon isn't that beautiful. We have seen the pictures of it. So, this one statement should prove that that image is actually false. Because Rama is considered to be the most handsome of all beings. We have seen Sage Narada's description, Eka Priya Darshanaha, Sarva Loka Priya Darshanaha. Every single person is happy to see this one person, and Sage Narada is calling Rama as Somavat Priya Darshanaha. He's as soothing, as enchanting, as charming as the moon to look at. And we also know that the name of Lord Rama is Ramachandra, the one who is as beautiful as the moon. So either we trust the NASA scientists and fall down incredibly, or we trust the words of Sage Narada and believe that the scientists who did go to a place that they call as the moon might not have been accurate. To go from one country to another country on the planet Earth, we need to qualify ourselves and get a visa or something like that to go from one place to another place in this very Earth. So imagine the effort that is required to travel from one place to another planet altogether. The Vedas have often declared that all the Devatas' positions, as we know, are temporary positions. So Surya position is permanent, but the person occupying the position of Surya is temporary. Currently, our Surya is Vivaswan, who happens to be the ancestor of Lord Rama. Our current Kubera is Vaishravana, the older stepbrother of Ravan. Our current Indra is Purandara, and the Vedas and the other Puranas have even indicated who is going to be our next Indra, and that is Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, who is destined to be the next Indra. So every planet has a presiding deity. That's why for Earth we have Bhuma Devi, who is the presiding deity of Earth, and for the moon planet, you have the moon, who is a presiding deity. And like this, we get to see that the presiding deities are the ones who figure out who should stay in their planet, who should not stay in their planet. And Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and all those people may have done certain things in their past karma to be able to maybe land on a place that they consider to be the moon. But it depends on the particular Devata to exhibit the entire potency of it. That's why the pictures of NASA prove that the place that they think they landed was a place full of craters, and it was an abysmal, dismal place. But over here, Sage Narada very clearly indicates that Rama is of pristine glory and he shines, he's radiant as the moon. He's so pleasing to look at as the moon. And definitely we can see that the picture that we saw from the NASA image of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong on the moon does not coincide with the picture that is painted by sage Narada. So, of these two, we should immediately accept sage Narada's words as true. That means that there was something wrong with the NASA picture that we saw in our childhood. This is why it is imperative to gain knowledge through the descending process of avarohana. So the knowledge comes from the Supreme Lord, who transfers it to his disciple, to his disciple, to his disciple, and so on and so forth. And through disciplic succession, the knowledge is transferred. And when we offer our service, we offer it up in the arohana process. That is, we go from us to our guru, the guru transfers it to his guru, and which will ultimately reach the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is imperative for the gurus to be a transparent medium so that the knowledge is descending transparently from the Supreme Lord to the Jivatma, and the service ascends transparently from the Jivatma to the Supreme Lord. So we should always look at the avarohana knowledge. That is the knowledge that we obtain from the Shastras, the knowledge that we obtain from great spiritual masters such as Sage Narada and Sage Valmiki, Sage Vedavyasa, and so on and so forth. And in all the Puranas and in the Vedic system, it is always mentioned that the moon is incredibly beautiful to look at. That is why we get to see Lord Rama's name itself is Rama-kiṅkarī, the one who is as pleasing to look at as the moon. So we need to decide that we should trust the words of great acharyas such as Sage Narada. That brings us to the point that there is some discrepancy between what is mentioned in the Vedas and what so-called scientists believe. And the scientists are using the Arohana method of knowledge, and that is they are conducting experiments and they are doing some inferences and hypotheses which may or may not be right. So we should always gain knowledge through the Avarohana method. That is, it should come from the top down. Based on that, we can see that moon is an incredibly beautiful place, and therefore, while comparing Rama to the moon, Sage Narada is not committing any blasphemy. He is in fact letting us know that the moon is an incredibly beautiful and charming place to look at, and Rama is just as soothing and calming as the moon. Now let's go on to the next description. So in the previous one, we saw that Rama is as enchanting and soothing and calming and pleasing as the moon. But over here, he says that if Rama gets angry, his anger is equivalent to the Kalagni, that is the fire at the end of dissolution. That is Kalagni Sadrisha Krodhe. Rama is known as Jita Krodha. Then Valmiki asks Kashyapipati Devascha Jata Roshasya Samyuge. When provoked to war, is there a person whom even the Devatas dare not face? And therefore over here, Sage Narada says that Rama's anger is a class apart. It is the anger that can terminate this entire universe. So the 47th description of Lord Rama's qualities is a very terrifying description. And we need to know that the Lord can create, protect and destroy everything. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 11, verse 28, it is mentioned, At the end of the day, under the insignificant portion of the mode of darkness, the powerful manifestation of the universe merges in the darkness of night. By the influence of eternal time, the innumerable living entities remain merged in that dissolution, and everything is silent. The purport is as follows. This verse is an explanation of the night of Brahma, which is the effect of the influence of time in touch with an insignificant portion of the modes of material nature in darkness. The dissolution of the three worlds is effected by the incarnation of darkness Rudra, represented by the fire of eternal time, which blazes over the three worlds. These three worlds are known as Bhuh, Bhuvah and Svah, Patala, Mritya and Svarga. The innumerable living entities merge into their dissolution, which appears to be the dropping of the curtain of the scene of the Supreme Lord's energy, and so everything becomes silent. So Sage Narada is saying that when Rama gets angry, his power is so devastating that he can cause major destruction at very little time. In Aranyakand, we get to see one particular dialogue that Rama has with Lord Lakshmana. Rama is furious that his beloved Sita was kidnapped and taken away from him, and he is all prepared to destroy this entire universe and all the living entities in it. He was willing to bring about the dissolution of this world, and Lakshmana is the one who calms him down and says, "Oh no, dear brother, do not kill this entire universe for the fault of one person. Inflict your anger upon the person who has actually kidnapped your wife. Do not harm everyone else in this." So Rama knows very well that he is more than capable of destroying this entire universe. And we need to thank Lakshmana that we are able to be over here in this universe at this moment. It just shows how kind Lakshmana is, that he advocated for us, because Rama's anger is so difficult to contain. It is so devastating. We also see how he faces his enemies in battle. When he was faced with Karadushana and Trishara and their 14,000 demons, single-handedly he was able to destroy every single one of them within one muhurta. It was so short span of time, and he could destroy all of them so easily. There is a time in Yuddhakan towards the very end that Rama single-handedly wreaks a lot of havoc, and everyone is standing out there mesmerized by the Lord's incredible prowess. So this is Rama's anger. It is capable of destroying this entire universe. Just as how Kalagni, the final fire of dissolution, is capable of destroying this material universe, similarly Rama's anger is that powerful. We will continue with the comparisons in the next section.